So y'all, this is the video I've been wanting to make ever since day one, and that is I was just wanting to tell folks, young and old, just don't do like I did. Don't make the mistake I done, and that was I ended up selling a lot of my stamps, and because we was in a somewhat of a financial bind, and at the time it seemed like a good idea, when really in reality, I mean, it was a temporary help, but I would just want to encourage you, keep all your inventory. If things get, tight or something, just look somewhere else maybe. But I can understand if you get in a bind and you think that would help, but I'm just telling you, I ended up regretting it anyway, because things always end up, usually work out okay. But back in, I said before, 1968, yeah, it's been a while. But it was more like 1966 to 1968, somewhere in there. But I am an Air Force brat, and I retired myself as well. And but Dad was stationed out at Hampton, Virginia, and we stayed there, like I said, from like 66 to 68, and then we got up and moved again. That's just how it was back in the day when you was in the military. There's a lot of things going on in the world. But let me get back on the subject at hand. But my Sunday school teacher, he was from Arkansas as well, and his name was Mr. Osborne. And I think about Mr. Osborne a lot. I don't know why, but he thought it was a good idea to give me his old stamp album. I mean, from what I can remember, he bought him a new stamp album, and this one he gave me, I can't remember the name of it anymore, but it was a big name album back in the day, and I think it was Scott maybe, but I remember it had plastic spiral notebook type thing. You remember those maybe? And I can't remember what was on the cover, but anyway, he gave me his old stamps, the ones that I'm sure they were duplicates and whatever. Just for whatever reason, he didn't want them, to transfer them into his new album. So anyway, so he done that, and I got looking at everything in there, and I was in 5th and or 6th grade, and it was, man, I was digging it. I saw their stamps I can remember in my mind to this day, because back in the day, in that time era, man, there was mail. I mean, we used to get mail all the time, probably 5 or 6 envelopes a day, and I was so excited, man, because I went in there, and I'd always want to check the envelopes and cut them out, and soak them off the paper, and I thought it was so cool when them stamps come out, and then they just float down to the bottom of the bowl or whatever, and you're like, all right, and then you take them out and put them on I think most of the time I used a bath towel or something, but anyway, and it was just an exciting time, and of course I got a lot of the same stamp, all the time, but like I said, there's a lot that stamps, images that's just burned in my mind, and of course that was along the space program too, and I got some of them, but I really didn't have a whole lot of people around me that collected or anything like that, and so I was kind of behind, but I was happy with what I had, and like I said, I couldn't wait just about every day and take, cut off new stamps and put in my album, let them dry out and put them in my album, but anyway, yeah, so I just kind of off again, on again collector my whole life, man. And like I said, I'm 68 years old now, and but I've always liked space, which I think a lot of people do, ships and trains and such as that, and also all these stamps, they were pretty much just U.S. I really wasn't around a whole lot of worldwide, so I couldn't, I wasn't exposed, so didn't really have an opinion of them. But anyway, and my album was strictly USA too, but anyway, it's just, then my dad got out of the military. We moved back to Arkansas, and I don't know, just, back then too, there wasn't not a whole lot of my friends or anything. They didn't collect or anything like that. So I didn't really have anybody to encourage me or, to share it with or anything like that. So, a lot of times I just kept it up and, top shelf in the closet or something, but all through my life, even after I got married and everything, well, I would buy some stamps, or for a long time I did soak them off letters and stuff, but like I say, of course, everybody has email now, so they're not they're not as plentiful around anymore, and but yeah, a lot of the decline, I think, in my collecting was, man, they would come out with flowers and love stamps and puppy dogs and all that kind of stuff, and all that stuff's cool, I guess, if you like that, but that wasn't my thing. And they really didn't have a whole lot of military type or I mean, coming up into the 70s and all, but it seemed like they didn't put out commemoratives like they did at one time. And I think my favorite era time was probably 1930s or something. I don't know, where they had a lot of statehoods and just one thing and another, but they had that look, that I really did enjoy, and stamps started evolving, and they were getting a lot more colorful and everything, which that's okay. But hang on. But anyway, so let's get up to the point of where we were. It was after I was already married, and I don't know, man, we just I thought, man, we need some money, so I had, oh man, when I think about what I had though, because all them years I still bought, like, you remember the commemorative sets at the end of every year? I always bought them, and I would buy booklets, whatever, maybe seemed like I remember a Steamboat booklet maybe, or something like that. when the Postal Service first come out with self-adhesive stamp, you know, man, I went out and I bought me a booklet of them and everything, and I was like, I didn't really think about it a whole lot then, but you know, now, I mean, that was a pretty good deal, you know, if you had went to the post office and bought them and, you know, found them that away or whatever. But, and that's another thing, you know, I used to go to the post office at night or something, you know, and I remember, this is crazy, but I'm going to tell you anyway, but, you remember the Kohl's, I think they got a plate block, you know, every so many stamps or something. And I was up there, man, putting all my change in there just about, you know, trying to get a plate block stamp. And I'm sure I did, but anyway, it was that, and I bought postcards and stuff like that, but yeah, so you know, I had the idea to sell them all, and man, I got so sick after that, but you know, I got face value for them, so, but still, they're gone, you know, that, and then I thought it was a good idea, well, I'll sell that album. Oh man, come on, you know, that's one of them things. I guess I'm just sentimental or something, but you know, I wish so many times I'd give almost anything to have that album back, you know, but I mean, it's long gone now. But the person that ended up buying all my stamps, I mean, it was somebody in the family, and they was just trying to help me out, you know. But what they done with them was, you know, they used them for postage. So, because they gave me face value, so, you know, they was going to buy stamps anyway back then. I think it was probably back in the 80s, mid-80s or something. And, but anyway, man, all the cool stuff I used to have just in a box, you know, and a lot of it was new because, you know, now a stamp is, what, 73 cents or whatever it is. Well, you know, that takes quite a bit to buy, you know, even a booklet or something. I mean to buy them where you're going to have them all, you know, and, but now I'm drawn back into ships and, you know, trains and airplanes and things like that, and I'm jabbering on. I know this video is way too long. Probably most people done clicked it or something, but I just, you know, try and find another way. If you get to thinking selling your stamps is a good idea that you've been collecting and buying over the years, man, look for another way. I'm sorry. Just look for another way, because you'll probably regret it, you know, and things, like I said, they usually get better. And so anyway, I hope I didn't run anybody off, but I just hope that somebody heeds my warning, you know, and thinks about it 2 or 3 or 5 times, you know. But hey, anyway, I appreciate y'all, and I appreciate the ones that have left me comments and everything. And you know, if you can't tell, I'm just a simple old country boy, and I don't know about techs. I'm not very tech conscious or whatever, and I'm sorry. But anyway, just, you know, stick around for laughs if nothing else. So, but anyway, I'll see y'all on the next one.